Welcome back to TGE TV. I am sitting down, attempting to be civilized and sensible. This is in response to a lot of comments from you guys and probably one or two girls saying they want more watch content. I did a video not too long ago with a sea dweller with red writing. Apologies, haven't eaten, I don't know what I'm doing. I did a video anyway a little while back with the sea dweller, red writing, blah blah blah. Went and picked it up, did a vlog, you guys loved it. So I'm doing more watch content, and I made a recent purchase that some of you will have seen across my Snapchat and my Instagram that I want to talk through because it is a very relevant price point. I would say the most amount of people that ask me at a certain price point is around this level, so about £2,000. And in this box, I believe to be the best purchase for about 2K, depending on where you look for it. Anyway, without further ado, let's get it out. It is, you probably guessed it from the title, or maybe not if I've clickbaited it, but it is the Tudor Black Bay Heritage. So let's get out this ceremonial box that it comes with. As with all watches, if you're buying pre-owned, get box and papers. There's plenty of them about with box and papers. Just go box and papers. Even though you're never going to see the box, you'll probably lose the box, you'll probably lose the papers. Just go box and papers. Very, very simple. Papers you can't forge, but box, at the end of the day, worst case, if you lose it, you can buy one on eBay. Probably be a couple £100, but there we go. I'm digressing already. Right, inside this shiny box here. It's all very nice, actually. I should probably start off with a bit of background about Tudor. So Tudor are a sister brand of Rolex. In the early days, well, in these days when they were making, this is an old one, we're not going to talk about this one, but in the old days, Rolex were making Tudor's watches. So this looks very much like a Rolex Submariner. That's because it pretty much is. The movement inside it is slightly different, but they were making the watches for Tudor, and Tudor were providing watches to the French Marines, I believe, in the kind of around the 70s maybe. But Tudor's got a good heritage. Sister brand of Rolex. They are now made in around the same area, if not the same area as Rolex. They're all part of the same company. So I think it's quite a cool brand. And recently, David Beckham has been put as kind of the face of Tudor. So I believe Tudor is probably about to blow up in terms of kind of visibility. And more people are waking up to the fact that these watches are basically Rolexes, but slightly kind of more sneaky and slightly cooler. And obviously the price point is way, way less, which is always a good thing. But anyway, let's get this open and have a little look inside. So here we go. This is called the Tudor Heritage Black Bay. As you can see, rip it out here. This is the stainless steel one. You can get this on a leather strap as well, with a kind of a deployant buckle, but I went for the bracelet on this one. All of them come with a spare strap in the box. So this is kind of like a NATO type strap, fabric strap, but it's got a unique buckle to Tudor, and you can't really buy these anywhere. So this is quite a cool strap. It looks like just a piece of fabric, but it looks wicked on the watch. And if you don't want to get the bracelet too battered, chuck it on this strap, and that will give you many years of wear, and the bracelet will be fresh. But anyway, I prefer the bracelet for whatever reason. But the first thing to note about this watch, here we go, is that it is a 41mm dial, and that is slightly bigger than that of a Submariner. I should probably mention as well, first things first, Tudor made this watch. They started making it in 2015, I believe, and they produced this particular model for about 10 months, I believe, less than a year, and then they updated it. So this is the pre-update model, and this is an interesting point because a lot of you guys want to know what watches to put your money into that aren't going to lose a load of value. And I firmly believe that if you purchase one of these, the kind of the pre-facelift, and I'll go through the difference between the facelift and this one. If you purchase one of these at a good price, you're never going to lose money on it. And in fact, you might well make some money on it, because this was the piece that pretty much relaunched Tudor. So it's not a bad one to get. This was the one that was kind of the poster watch when Tudor made a big noise about relaunching. And this is the most popular model. This is kind of their Submariner, if you like. So if you're going to get a Tudor and you kind of want your first serious piece, I go for one of these, but the pre-facelift version. How can you tell that this is a pre-facelift version? You can see the text on the dial there. We'll do some close-ups. But there's kind of like a little smiley face on it. It's kind of curved. That will tell you that this one is the ETA movement, which is a type of movement. Very, very basic movement. and not the recent in-house movement that Tudor are doing. There's a few other sort of telltales as well, which I prefer, like physical telltales. The facelift model is slightly thicker, so it sits slightly more proud on your wrist, which I personally don't like. And also the bracelet on this, as you can see, there are no rivets on the side, but the facelift version has brought back the rivet type bracelet that they used to have on the vintage Submariners back in the day, which again I don't like. I like the kind of more typical simple look. So there's a few bits about this piece. It looks on the face of it very similar to the newer version, but this one's a cool one to have, and not many people know that. Differences with the movement inside. You've got a 38-hour power reserve on this, so obviously being automatic, if you don't wear it for a few days, it will stop. So after 38 hours with lots of use of this watch will stop, and you have to wear it again and get it going again. But with the in-house movement, it's a 70-hour power reserve, so you do lose a bit on the power reserve front. However, it's not all bad. With this pre-facelift version, it's cheaper to service. So if something goes wrong with it, God forbid you drop it or whatever happens, it's a lot cheaper to service, because this is just an ETA movement. Most watchsmiths will just look at this and fix it, but with the in-house movement that kind of Rolex, if you like, have made, that's going to be for more specialists, and that's going to mean you're sending off to Switzerland all sorts of admin that nobody can be bothered with. So yeah, this is a very good buy as far as I'm concerned. And no, I'm not being paid by Tudor. I bought this out of my own money. They're probably going to be appalled that I'm even doing this video, to be honest with you, but this is what I bought with my own money, and so many of you ask, do a watch video, what should I buy with £2 grand? There are other options that I need to mention. Omega Seedmaster, or Omega Seedmaster, never a bad shout. That is a good shout as well. Mr. Seen Through Glass is a very nice one. Something like that for around £2 grand. Again, try and do something cool as well. If you are going to buy a Seedmaster, try and buy it from the year of your birth with box and papers. This one, well, you couldn't buy it from the year of your birth unless you are 2 years old and watching this video, in which case, well done, you've developed very early. That is pretty much it on the watch front with this piece. I'll be vulgar, I'll talk money before we go. I paid, and bear in mind I got a bit of a steal, I actually saw this in a jeweller's. I was buying a Patek at the time, and I saw this in the pre-owned section of a jeweller's in Leicester. I've forgotten the name of it now. What was it called? Any ideas, Ollie? Can you remember? Jewellers in Leicester, anyway, they sell Patek. Isn't it? Big independent thingy. Tarot's, I think. Tarot's, there we go. And I paid £1,600 for it. Box, paperwork, the whole lot, all this garb inside. So this is the paperwork as well that you need with it. It comes with a little card and your warranty and all that stuff. Again, I'm putting my thumb over the numbers, but there we go. And it comes with your service, your guarantee and all that rubbish. But I paid £1,600 for it. Retail price, I believe, was about £2,400. Anything for about £2 grand and below is a good price. You want to be paying between £1,600 and £1,800 if you can, but they're getting scarcer and scarcer. There are other options. You can get this with a black bezel and a blue bezel as well. Personally, I prefer the red with the gold hands. The black bezel has gold hands as well, but the dial as well, you can't pick it up in this light, but the dial is kind of a really nice dark chocolatey kind of matte finish, which is lovely. The red, I think, is the one to go for. It's the one they relaunched the whole brand with, but there is a blue option, there is a black option, so do bear that in mind. They don't make them new anymore, obviously, it's just the updated one, and if you prefer the aesthetics of the updated one, it's not a bad watch to get at all either. You won't be sinking a huge amount of cash into it, and you won't be losing a huge amount of cash. Just personally, I like the kind of pre-facelift vintage vibe. And interestingly, the original Tudor, so like this one, they had ETA movements in them, so this is more historically accurate if you care about all that kind of retro vintage rubbish, which I'm a bit of a nerd, so I do actually quite like that. So this is more historically accurate as well, but again, unless you're insanely boring, you probably won't care about that. And that is pretty much it. As usual, if you've got any watch questions, do tweet me. My Twitter will be on the screen somewhere around the place, or comment on my Instagram, drop me a DM, and I'll try and get back to you as much as I can. And as always, send me a Snapchats of what watches you've been buying, because I love seeing it. I might not be able to reply to everyone, but I do open as much as I can on all my accounts. So yeah, I'm very nosy. I do enjoy it. So yeah, let me know what you think anyway. Do you want to know more about watches? Do you want to see me do more on investment pieces? Do you want to see me do more with the kind of the higher end of the market? So like Richard Milles, something like that. I'll have to remortgage my house, but I can do stuff like that. So let me know what you want. Do you want more attainable stuff? Do you want watches less than £2,000? I don't know. It's up to you guys. I'm open to suggestions. This is a new series, so I will be sitting down talking watches every now and again. And hopefully it will be of use. I will go through more of my collection as well, because there are a few other pieces that I want to talk about. A few pieces that I've sold early as well that I've completely effed up on, and a few pieces that I've held on to, which I'll do quite well on, thankfully, as it stands, pre-economic meltdown. Anyway, that is it. I'll stop rabbiting now. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, blah, 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 and I'll see you again soon. Bye!